We're learning some new information after our investigation here from Thursday into the COVID-19 outbreak at the Lake KinderCare. Health officials are now blaming the delay in getting in touch with families on KinderCare and a state database switch. 29 staff members and kids tested positive for COVID-19. According to emails, parents found out a staff member had tested positive on June 14th. They said they didn't talk to a contact tracer until June 23rd, 9 days later. Lauren Dahl has a 1-year-old daughter at KinderCare. She said her daughter was in close contact with a staff member who tested positive.
The contact tracing was a complete failure. I feel like on Monday morning, June 15th, the day after we were notified that this was going on, we should have been contacted, every single person in the center. I know that our center director at KinderCare specifically submitted a floor plan of the center along with an hour-by-hour documentation of which staff was in which room with which children. They have it down to that.
KinderCare would not do an interview, but we did get some new information from Clackamas County health officials. Clackamas County said they did not receive the contact list from KinderCare until about a week after the first positive test. So that would be around Sunday, June 21st. Contact tracing can't begin until the counties get the names and numbers of the people who may have been exposed. After getting the list, the county switched state databases that aid in contact tracing notification to the counties. The county said that took 4 additional days after they received the list, bringing us to around June 25th. The Dahls live in Washington County, so they were contacted by a Washington County contact tracer. But again, they said it was too late at that point. They were nearly done with their quarantine.
He kind of stumbled his way through the questions and didn't really seem to know what exactly he was doing. And then, so it was just kind of shocking and sort of laughable in a really kind of morbid way, I guess, because we keep hearing that contact tracing and testing is what's going to help control this, and it's what's going to get our kids back in school in the fall.
Washington County said they reach out to contacts within 24 hours after they have been named or transferred from another county into the state database. We also reached out to KinderCare several times today, and they never responded. I urge you to read and watch our full investigation on KGW.com right now.